Hello, good evening. This is September 1st. Coyote here, and welcome to Syrian Star Oracle in the Age of Aquarius. Tonight, I wanted to do a really one to be uplifting and positive and fun, and just see what my new cards have to say, along with my treasured old pals. Because today I buried my mother. I buried her physical body. No, we had like a legal burial for some of you who might know me. I'm just gonna see if I can share this a little bit differently. Let's see. Yeah, okay. And yeah, we had a really wonderful funeral. And I am really of the posture that there is life after life, there is no death, and that we experience this reality to come in to remember who we are, our true past history, and to claim our divine powers, what I sometimes refer to as our X-Men, X-Woman powers, because this is our right to fully express ourselves as God and goddesses on earth, not in an offense to the infinite mind, the source, the universe, all that is and ever was, or in some cases, what some of you just say as God or Krishna or Allah, because I also have the other posture philosophy that sometimes words in a particular way of saying have also brought in the other God, because there are many gods, those of the light and goodness, and those of the dark, evil, or dissonance. Not so much because it's wrong of the many gods. They're aspects of the divine one mind that we all come from. And in our expression to express ourselves, to bring in the mastery through magic, through wonder, the vehicle of frequency that is known as love, clarity, joy, goodness, fun, the best, the highest of intention, we can revert to those aspects that we know as angels, archangels, iconic deities of care and goodness, iconic saints, if you will, ascended master, and all those we have treasured that we've come to learn from through our either holy books or heartfelt intuition or mystical stories or stories passed down that really help us transcend the moment to a higher vibrational state if we so choose, rather than the same old story, than the same old condition of pointing finger and limiting us. Certain vibrational words, attitudes, and our own posture without even realizing that we're creating by default and not as expansive and standing in wonder and sovereignty as we could choose. So my channel is really about me too remembering and sharing it with you so that we can find ourselves in a place of creating more harmony and in an understanding and freeing our shadows, coming to terms with love and care for all that we've done. It's a great adventure. We can also take full accountability and also fall into great like with ourselves, which leads to great love and respect of ourselves. And with that, we take good care of ourselves in that expansion, which that energy radiates out. Others will feel. They may not get it, all of them, but they will eventually, because we're all energy sponges created in a human body for this experience on this plane of Earth. Now, so my topic tonight was what to keep in mind, transition from physical to non-physical, and that was because of putting the physical body of my mother into the earth in this beautiful casket where her body was embalmed, her organs were taken out, the lid was shut and sealed, and we brought her to a cemetery. We had a ritual that she wanted. It was part of her, request. She had physically set up her last visit with us, in a sense, through a viewing at a church that she attended quite frequently and cared for, and a mass, and then we had a drive to the ceremony, and a thought of goodbye was said there by a deacon, and then we went to a repast, many of us, to share and to be in that moment and celebrate, even if we didn't call it that. It was an acknowledgement of respect and celebration and her last wishes. So this was bringing up, what other people that I sat around did not know about our transition from physical to non-physical. So many are in fear of that. So many are afraid of that. So many think that last minute, or off and on, very subtly, even by default during life, I've done such bad things, I might go here. I've done pretty good things, I'll probably make it there, and everything in between that any religious group could share or teach, which usually is unworthiness based on you're a wretch, you're a sinner, you're low, you only get through God through another God aspect. And yet it's always told the power is within, the kingdom is within, greater things can you do as I. Hey, don't make me a God. We are equals, which was what the Yeshua taught. And then there are other religions that have their most wonderful points of view, and as far as a teaching to study, hold a lot of good points. But then often in all these different religions, different cultures, it was a way for us to fall apart and not stay together. And those are many other topics and stories that can be shared. But tonight is really about what to keep in mind that the cards may share with us for transition from physical to non-physical. And this is what I wrote. This is part of the description. Flowing in transition from this known and experienced reality to a non-physical reality. Some say you go to one or so places as you leave this known, interpreted physical death from planet Earth to another spot. And we have many names for the best and the worst of those offers. What if this thinking is off? How about matter? Matter is neither created nor destroyed, or a solid looking body. What if space isn't empty? It's moving. How about that? What if our experience here thus far is but an exercise in evolution, an energetic rise of empowerment, of joy, freedom, abundances, magic, and goodness for every area of life? Isn't that more soothing and easeful? A way of surrendering to this wonderful ride. Sometimes it's wacky and turbulent and smooth, or uplifting, miraculous, you might say. And pre-paving life adventures, what if this is all a journey of sweet acceptance of your inner being, your isness, since that is all you come from. The all is one, the one is all. An expression of love's desire to expand. That meaning love's desire, the infinite mind, the nebulous, the force field, the quantum field, the cosmos, the universe, all that is and never one, the great infinite mind, and again, some of you call it God, Allah, Krishna, etc. Your divine right is of health, riches, abundance, goods expressed via love. Love in your talents, gifts, and skills that you bring with joy to share and then return to you, or even if so you decree, you can imagine, you can be, and events, people, right appointments seem to land at your feet. So let's see how the iconic symbolism of these cards come through to help us take a keen look at flowing in our transitions, especially that often misunderstood feared transition of death. You are powered by the stars. You are the spark of creation. You are the key. Let us activate the power within. And if you find my channel interesting, you can always donate, hire me to do house blessings, office blessings, clearings of entities, clearing of the body, and I can talk with you privately about that. I did not list my email, but on other shares there are. I did list how you may send a donation. But sirs, you can reach me through Syrian Star Oracle at gmail.com. So Syrian SIRIAN Star STAR Oracle ORACLE. So Syrian Star Oracle at gmail.com. So anyway, that's enough of that. And let's just see what happens here. So I have my 3 decks. I want to pick a traditional first card that will actually lay a foundation for part of the theme as we enter into the story of what the cards will tell us. So I'm just going to divide the cards. I pick a pile. I'm going to let a theme card come. Okay, I do not know what it is yet. And then we'll pick, by the way, yes, I'm using a, what is this, what I call this? I think this is more of a, it's not really polished, but it's sort of a coarse, it says to light. I love my crystals, right? And I just took this amethyst druzy. I think this is agate on this part, amethyst druzy and crystal. This is either a smoky quartz or a green quartz. It's not completely a clear quartz. See how it's kind of a lime green? That's what I believe it is. This came from UK. And let's see, I might want to light a little more incense too for our journey. So let's see what the oracles have to say. Now, I did not, I don't remember if I fixed the cards earlier. I think I've just been using them the way that they are. No, that's going to go. Let's see. It's going to go. And let's see. To help us on a journey tonight, the transition from physical to non-physical. What might you help us understand so we can stay right about this? No? Okay. Interesting. Usually my last card in Oracle wants to come. This did not. I'm going to do this. And then I have my new cards, which I really, just and here's my, this almost looks like part of a druzy too, but it's really, no, it's not. And this is an amethyst heart, just beautiful amethyst heart. This came by way of Australia. She may have gotten it from Russia or China, but it's just a beautiful, beautiful piece. Okay. All right. So this newest deck, it's also by Cheryl Umbrock Rose, and I just love her because she's very spiritual in orientation. Her images are so spiritual as well. So that's the first time using the deck. Let's see what they want to share in the final illumination of transition from physical to non-physical and keeping us aware of our power, empowerment, and our isness. So I'm not sure how many will come. I'm just thinking 1 or 2 will be a good illumination. 1 is even okay, but haven't used it. Let's see how the cards will speak to me. Yeah. Come down 1 second. You want to say? No? Okay. Tuesday. Okay, the state. And which card would help us illuminate the subject in a final overview of just a capper, just a last help. No. Anything else? This deck I'm not familiar with. I just got it today. So I think that may be all that comes. You want to go? This wants to come too. 1, 2. Okay. Here we go. I also have my my book ready for numbers, and my pen, and my other helper books as we just take a look at this, right? Okay, let's see. Hold on 1 second as I orient this so I don't lose anything. We're going to let's see if I can put this. Not gonna work. I'm just gonna light one more incense. Sorry if that was too. That works. Got some going there. Thank you for your hanging in there. We have some incense here. You know that I like to create that mystical effect with the incense. So that's basically what we're doing. So yeah, almost starting. Thank you for your patience. So we have 1 tarot card, 3 oracle cards for the body, 2 for the finish of illumination. Let's see if that will stay. Anytime it don't stay. Okay, I think that will work. And I think we're doing really well, folks. So thank you very much. I appreciate that. Okay, so I have a card upside down. It is the moon. It's number 18. So when it's upside down, I may have told you that I choose to see that as a temporary holdup, slight hiccup, or transitioning out of. And it's interesting, the moon will be upside down. I'm going to show it to you much better this way. Okay. So the moon, it's 18, but that means 9, which is sharing your special talents and gifts with the world, your spiritual talents. I want to read exactly because from that is going to be a springboard to how I'm going to also help see this as the beginning of going into this transition subject. Okay. So share your talents and wisdom with the world. Cosmic consciousness linked to compassion and empathy. So you're giving too much energy to others, then you'll need to slow down, be in awareness of self, place energy into your wishes first, back to yourself. So sometimes, right, we're giving our energy, our care, our skill, our talents to others. We're beginning to nurture ourselves. This temporary upside down is because in the transition of physical to non-physical, we're often taught is a scariness to it, right? There's a holdup. There's a holdup because of that belief that we're unworthy sinners or a wretch. No, furthest from the truth. Or people are fearful, even if they say they're atheists or even if they're devout in any of the aspects of the religious subject, whatever it is, whether it's Judaism, whether it's Christianity, whether it's Buddhism, whatever you may subscribe to, there is often a silent a tape playing about not being worthy enough. Have you been worthy enough? And sort of scorekeeping. And really, this is about this transition from physical and into non-physical is really just that you're alive again. So it's letting us know that If you are upside down and thinking that, it's okay to let that go and turn, or if you're been temporary like that, then yes, it's okay. Step into this now time, this empowerment time, this age of light, this age of Aquarius, because the moon, which is 18:9, share your talents and gifts with the world. We're going to read that 18. Okay. This is the moon. I may not see the workings of spirit in the invisible realm, but I know there is great activity behind the scenes. This is you, upside down like that, if you were in a temporary hiccup. No, there's great activity behind the scenes. They may not see the working of spirit, right? But the invisible realm is there. It's important to trust the mystery and remember that the material realm is an illusion. Current conditions are not necessarily a reflection of the truth of what's really going on in the present. Great opportunities lie in the shadows, awaiting the perfect time for illumination. I couldn't have planned that. I didn't know I was going to call the last cards the illumination. I knew that prior, that that's what they seemed to want to pop up and tell me to say. So please do go back. This is a really wonderful beginning. Share your talents and skills and wisdom with the world. And if you have been not going into self, if you're sharing yourself with others who do not value, it's okay to step back, turn it around. You may not see the work as a spirit, right? But you profess to know that they're there. Yes, they're there. And you're part of it. It's important to trust that mystery. Current conditions are not necessarily a reflection of the truth of what's really going on in the present, in the now. Great opportunities lie in the shadows, awaiting the perfect time for illumination. And the shadows in this case is not anything bad. It's just they are hovering around us. And if we trust, the timing is everything. And as we surrender, that serendipitous stuff that I wrote in the description is about people, events, circumstances are aligned for the moving forward. Okay, so now let's see what the body and of the oracle has to say, and how we've been feeling, how it can help us. What are they talking about, so that we are understanding, we are loving, we are embracing, we are trusting this transition from physical to non-physical. So I got 3 cards, and the first card is choose a natural solution when possible. It is a number 21, which is number 3, mind, body, spirit, things happening in threes, paying attention to that. And in traditional, right, Father, Son, Holy Ghost, or what seems like a triangle. I'm not a real devotee to the Father, Son, Holy Ghost, because I think that can be used in a way that is not in the most positive sense. But in 3, magic in motion, motivation, movement, flow of energies, right? And we're wanting to flow and transition from this known to experience reality, of this experienced reality to a non-physical, wanting to understand and feel that transition. Going after your dreams, follow your heart, live life to the fullest and connect to your higher self. These are but some things, that number 3. It's also a vortex energy, philanthropist energy, love, wisdom, good fortune, and as I said, mind, body, spirit. So choose a natural solution when possible. In this card, the natural solution, if we allow ourselves, is to trust this transition. If we wish, a natural solution is to be with what's happening. Trust that process and do best to embrace fear. That fear is there to show you something. That like fear is the mind killer. I have that poem that I talk about quite a bit from Dune. And that as fear passes, it's gone. What's left is yourself. So choose a natural solution whenever possible. And let me see how that will also balance with all of this. Because right now, that's all I really have for this one. And here's the picture. This is a daughter who, a goddess whose brother was killed by their father, and in the body of her brother were growing many, many herbs for healing, 360. The father was jealous, saw what she saw, knew that the healing herbs were placed on the brother's body, that donated what to use and where for the body that would bring on the cure, the miracle. And the father scattered the herbs everywhere, which on our planet there are healing herbs, herbs which provide cure, ease, and a transition to good. And so we have to remember that as well. So here is a card of actual health, choosing a natural solution when possible. Let's hold this aside for a moment. Acclimate, accept where you are. Well, you also may not like where you are. You also are placed exactly where you need to be right now, and best you can, make peace with it. Try to, at times of quiet, take a look at how you feel about transition from the physical to non-physical. Are you accepting it, denying it, fighting it? Are you resistant? Are you seeing that as part of a solution in moving forward and acceptance? The solution is to not react, perhaps, but respond or lie still and repose, like hold and observe. Acclimate, accept where you are. Number 11, two, balance, accepting where you are. Sometimes we don't want to be where we're at. Sometimes we're in great unhappiness because what we have attracted doesn't feel like the thing we really want. But as we make peace with the moment, peace in the transition, peace with an understanding of when we're done with our physical journey, we're done with these vehicles that we're in, the human flesh body, we will move on. Doing best to accept where we are alleviates stress and tension. And that is actually working with natural solutions. And take a stand. And number 7, expect a spiritual awakening. There's a lot of root chakra here, a lot of foundation support, a little bit of the white light. They often use a plasma, a light tinged blue light to really bring in protection, groundedness to the earth. I use that in accordance with the Christed color around my heart, and also rose gold color and the violet flame, and all of that brought together, the Christed heart, the rose gold flame, the violet flame, they sort of melded together, this big ball of golden yellow, and then that plasma light blue light all around for protection and grounding and an ultimate energy send, so that all beings will feel that. But these are very, very good in terms of, we have mostly the heart and the mind going on here in terms of allowing the channel of spirit to come through. We're here in expression with mostly the sacral, the second chakra, and the third chakra, which is about community and creative expression, even sexual identity, but it's all creative, passion, fiery. And then you have mostly root chakra, dark chakra, and that would be from the pelvic area. That's like the root chakra, a little lower than belly button, and even the legs, how we ground ourselves to take a stand, in our beliefs. So 2 and 5 is 7. And let me pull this together on some of the words I've written here. Okay. Let's see, death, when we leave this planet to go to another spot, sometimes we're afraid if it's good, we're happy if it's bad, we kind of make adjustments, but matter is neither created nor destroyed. So we're reminded a little bit about our health and choosing a natural solution. Acclimate to where we are. We may not like this idea of transitioning, it may frighten us, but taking a stand, going back to roots, seeing what that foundation is about. All these numbers, the body of this particular transition, 3 and 2 is 5, and 7 is 12, which brings back to number 3. So the body is reminding us of this message in relationship to transition from this physical to non-physical, the magic in motion, the flow of energy, things happening in 3, the energy of philanthropy, letting love, wisdom, good fortune be with you, the mind, body, spirit together. It's not that you're just physical and then it's ended. You are an energy being of love, created from all that is, created in love, and that isness and being. It's your divine right to have abundance and wealth and wonderful good fortune. So go after your dreams, follow your heart, and live life to the fullest. Connect to your highest self, your highest wisdom, and listen to you from that inner space. So let's see, let me pull that together in terms of understanding what they are telling us about the inner, about this transition from flesh to non-physical. When we allow ourselves to be in our isness, in our natural state, we are love. When we can accept and decide for ourselves where we're at in any transition, we make peace and do not war with the mind. We do not war with the heart. We are in connection to the soul, which is our breath, which comes from all that is and ever was. And we're taking a stand in our power, in our divinity. We're taking a stand to embrace, like, and love ourselves. We're taking a stand as a being of light where the expansion of the energy radiates out. So in our transitions, we easefully surrender into what's next. Okay, let's take a look at the capper of tonight's theme, transition into non-physical, and the flow of all that from this experienced reality to non-physical, and to do a lightness about I've been good, or comparing ourselves to where we end up. Because once you're out of your body, I can guarantee you, you will feel extremely light. It's a very interesting feeling of lightness, of ease, serenity, in such a way is almost never experienced before. And you might have a glimpse of it if you're lying in pure bliss on the beach. In some mornings, as you rest in bed, just before you get up, on a day that you have felt rested and you're feeling the ease and gladness of life, the sweetness, this, like I said, serenity and peacefulness is what being out of the body is like. But you feel so free. It's not like you're concerned where your license or your money or your car keys are. You're like so happy, like a state of such bliss. I've been out of my body a couple of times, not necessarily planned, but felt. So I'm just sharing that with you. Okay. These cards are new to me. I don't know which one came first. Let's say, I think it's this one because I've been talking so much. But the two cards that end in a capper for illumination about this particular subject is confront your opposite polarity. Confront your opposite polarity. I'm going to read that because to me this means the facing your fear, like the Dune poem about fear is the mind killer. And when I face my fear and allow it to go through me, and I know it's not more powerful than me, it has passed. I look beyond with my eye, my inner knowing, and I am loved. And then here's become your own sovereign. So it's interesting. From the root or base type chakras, the fiery base, the foundation, and what seems to be your physical to this illumination of the non-physical. Okay, let's read what these have to say. This is so cool. Yeah, I've never seen these cards before and like this, and this is pretty cool. So, 15. Confront your opposite polarity. And this rendering is called Encounter in Wistman's Wood. Whether within yourself or outside, there's always a part of ourselves to challenge and harmonize, clear your issues with a partner or friend. So in this case, there are challenges, right? About leaving the body. Sometimes there's fear. Sometimes it's, if you've done your life correctly, that there's some entity outside of yourself that's absolutely going to judge you, and you're really going to feel even lesser or unworthy, or there was a scorecard and you may not have made the mark. So this particular body of the story talks about this Wistman's Wood. So it's a place, and it looks like it's in maybe in England, Devon, England. It talks about what the falcon means, represents the psychic or higher self, and suddenly the stag appears, a challenge. And then in your thinking about subject, do you have the skills to harmonize with the situation? And I know you do. It's a matter of finding a natural solution. It's a matter of acclimating where you are, coming to terms with any fear or the idea of leaving, that you haven't done the right thing, leaving the physical earth. And then become your own sovereign. Well, you always were the being of light in your soul as the light body, the light being, flitting around in the cosmos, back with infinite mind, all that is and ever was. Okay. Become your own sovereign, the goddess sovereignty. Envision yourself being treated with integrity and respect and insist on it. So let's see. I'm going to read this particular one because I'm just interested and maybe it will be helpful. The goddess sovereignty can bestow sacred kingship or take it away. She represents the sanctity of earth. What is done to the land affects her. In Celtic tradition, she bestows sacred kingship through a physical representative, such as in the rite of the Tintagel Island. I think that's, I want to say that, I thought that was Arthur becoming king. If the king did not respect her, his fields would lie fallow and his kingdom would not prosper. If he made peace with the goddess through his right action, he would then become the sovereign himself. In practice, that's been lost over the centuries with the rise of the patriarchal society. The world we have now is the result. So while this speaks to the mythology, for example, in the King Arthur legend, and the other deck I have, which is by the same artist, where King Arthur spends time in Nectar's Glen, gets in touch with his inner self. He's facing any demons. He has ancestral visits. He has a vision, clairvoyance, clairaudience, and he's also testing himself. I think I'm the king. I'd like to be the king. Am I a true representative? He's facing a lot of things, but ultimately, he does dive deep. He embraces not only the challenge, but the honor and the knowing that to be king, he has to be king inside himself in a good, godly goodness way. And so he passes himself through that time of what could be the dark night of the soul or that self-confrontation, right? He confronts his opposite polarity, but he emerges victorious. He emerges sovereign to crown himself king. And of course, the legend of Arthur is renowned that he was greatly loved and beloved in many magical things, and Merlin was his teacher and so forth and so on, and many other fables and or true mythologies out of that extended time and history, if you will. So, as far as colors go and situation in comparison or in illumination and enlightenment to what to keep in mind, transition from physical to non physical, that part of the message in the very end is facing ourselves and our fear and embracing our isness and oneness and divinity and our goodness and our true nature to care, our true nature to make peace with self and peace with others. And if not in a physical, verbal way, then in an energetic expansion which touches all because energy is neither created nor destroyed. And then becoming your own sovereign, embracing your isness, knowing that you're divine, knowing that you never die. And you just transition from this sort of experience to the next. I have joked but meant with an aunt and her friend. If I croak, I'm not into all the fanfare. Take my body and place it somewhere and have it go back part of nature. And of course, what came up is, oh, it's illegal. You have to bury the body. You can't just bury it in the backyard, blah, blah, blah. But I'm telling you, if you were to sneak somewhere where there's a huge abyss and you did a Thelma and Louise and chucked me off, no one's coming after me. I'm just going to be dumped, and I'm going to be pieces of food. There's some creatures, but my soul is going to be free. I was free before you dumped me because I was croaked off. I was dead. My soul has gone on into the next phase of preparation, into the next phase of fun, into the next phase of appreciation, into the next phase of thankfulness, and the next phase of, okay, let's see, great experience, not a great experience. Yeah, let's try something else this time. Right? Some people say you petition heaven and you're with other, folks and you get to chat. And then with the infinite mind, the nebulous, the energy, the force field of good, love, and all that is never was, and you decide what's next. In any case, I wish this transition was helpful to you for you to have some humor and grace and embrace and know that you're part of the stars, you're a spark of creation. We must activate the power within because we have great power. We have great power. We're about 43 minutes, and I do want to say, think about this. Let's say you're watching an adventure movie. Now we know it's a movie and they're actors, but they're telling a story, correct? Especially when you like these maybe sci-fi thrillers, or you have these heroes, and they're out there trying to get the bad guy or do the right thing, and they're in a duel, and they get bounced around, and they still stand up. They're bounced around, they still stand up. Remember, it is Hollywood, and it's old Hollywood, showing you what you're really capable of. You don't have to croak off. You don't have to break apart. You have more power, more magic, more aliveness than we've had conversations about. And it's time to start those conversations and to support each other in that isness, in that oneness, in that fantastical way to express and be expressed, where there's plenty for everybody, plenty of riches and wellness and optimum health to return to the original blueprint that we are. And if you wish, in psychic ability, clairvoyance, clairaudience, to attract the money or attract the people and places so that we can then, in ease, take our special gifts and abilities that are unfolding or known and revealed so we can share that with the world and have fun and have a joyous life. And if you do believe in God, even in the dogma way, if you do, then you can't tell me that God, that aspect of what you say you believe as God, would deny you the mastery of life, to bring in the goodness, and to have that time after time again, suffering free, judgment free, disease free. Why would you want to keep repeating those stories of discord and disharmony? It's a learned thing, I'll say. And it's time to tell the new story. It's time to be fearless. And it's time to embrace the wonder that you are. Good wishes. Coyote saying goodbye. I hope you've enjoyed this transition and fun. I really loved, deciphering it and bringing it to you, and I'm appreciative. Have a great night.